Hey guys, Kenny here from Archive Tactics. Today I'm here with our newest team member, Kuzmich. We're going to be going into a double deck tech today for when Tristan posts the newest ban list. And we have two different builds. His is a little crazier than mine, but they both work out really well in the end. We think these are the best builds after everything that happened. So he's going to go into his first, then I'm going to go into mine, and then we'll have a little bit of discussion after that. Let's go.
Alright, so we're going to start with an aggro Wind Tristan list. We're going to go with a Spirit of Wind, Tristan level 1, just underhanded, the only one we got, and then the new Tristan level 2 for drawing 2 cards if you have 4 more prep counters. I then do a Wind Bauble and Fire Bauble in the main deck, along with a Backup Charger and Grand Crusader Ring to be able to draw. Then for just basic stuff, we have Windwalker Boots, Poison Dagger, a Nullifying Lantern, Tariff Ring, and Assassin's Ripper, just so that we can actually get some damage in and be able to finish off our opponents hopefully as quick as possible. Going into the main deck, we're doing 4 Sable Remnant, just because it's a staple and pretty easy to get through. Then I go for 4 Lurking Assailant, 2 3s with Stealth, and then you can retaliate if you want to. 4 Kingdom Informant, just because it's Stealth, and then you have Floating Memory also, so you can sit there and annoy your opponents a lot. 3 Saudis in hope of being able to get that agility, and then also getting prep counters for returning it. 2 Incapacitate, just right there in the main for negation. 4 Slice and Dice, the main way you actually kill your opponent as fast as possible. And then to finish it up is 3 Accepted Contract to be able to get that 3 prep counters initially. It's going to be really good for later on, just because you don't have a lot of prep generation in this deck. Then we're going into the Wind side of it. We got 4 Surveil the Winds, just draw a card prep counter. 4 Shimmer Cloak Assassins, again, Stealth 2/2, one of the best new allies to come out. Then we're going with 4 Windmill Engineer, just the imbue to be able to draw cards in the memory is really nice when you have mostly wind. Veiling Breeze at 3, just reveal, get it in, prevent some damage. Go to Dream Fairy, just run 4 of it because it's one of the best cards. 2 Reclaims, thinking about trading it out, but I don't know. Still a good pick. Triple Stifling Trap, helps you deal with dungeon guides and keeping people down and not leveling up as much. 4 Black Market Brokers, prep counters, 2 3s, also has stealth. Keep going on. 4 Fairy Whispers, just keep digging. And then 4 Swift Recruits, more floating memory, intercept, cheap unit to get out. Going into the sideboard, I want a Verdant Protective Trinket because you basically just, because of the meta here in the States, it just shuts off Nico, and it's just really nice. So you can just play on your turn, don't have to deal with them. A Water Resonance Bauble, just because you got to have all 3 at this point. And then a Crimson Protective Trinket, thinking about keeping it, thinking about taking it out, not sure yet. But if you're playing against like a Wind Diana or Wind Lorraine, you just banish 2 cards, which is great, and they don't get anything anymore. Go into 3 Exploited Vulnerability just because you want to keep swinging in this deck. So when you have to deal with slimes and you just, oh yeah, all my units are assassins, swing in, remove one of their big taunts, and then you keep going. Double Incapacitate in case you're playing against any mages and stuff and you don't want to deal with what they're doing. And then another Veiling Breeze to bring it up to 4 in case you go into matches against fire.
Alright, y'all, here is my list. It is a little bit different than Kuzmich's. I very, very much enjoy this list just a little bit. It's more mid-rangey, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Spirit of Wind, the obvious, you know, come in, draw 7. Tristan 1, Tristan 2, Tristan 3, and also we have Shadow Reaver. So I do like playing both. Every once in a while, I find myself not going into this one as much for the on-enter ability of the banish top 4 of target opponent's deck face down. As long as they're banished, I can play these cards in any way. I don't find myself going into this as much, but it's really, really nice to have. I find myself going into this one just a little bit more for the on-enter. You get 2 shadow tokens and a prep counter. And then the defense of remove 2 prep counters and redirect target from your face to one of your shadows. Super, super good. I love this thing. All right, now let's go and see what our regalia pieces look like. We've got GCR. We love it. Everyone does. We have Tariff Ring. Tariff Ring is awesome if you're fighting against another aggro deck and you just want to say, stop, give me a turn, especially against like Token Tenoris or Wind allies of any kind. We have Poison Dagger. Everyone loves Poison Dagger. Come in rested. And then oftentimes you just go in if you're going for an ally kill or if you don't have your Shadow Strikes or Slice and Dices. We have our mulligan piece. I like Orb of Regret because it's free to materialize. Then you shuffle 3 and draw 3. I like it a lot. It's won me games because I was able to top deck into my Shadow Strike or Slice and Dice. Assassin's Ripper. This card's cracked, and it really, really helps if you're down to 1 durability on your Shadow's Claw. The only Wind Regalia, Windwalker Boots. If your champion is not rested, you get a prep counter. This card's dumb. It really helps you. I go into Tristan 1, then the turn after, I go into this, if she's still standing, and just continually generate prep counters so I can bank on getting to 4 by the time I hit Tristan 2. And then the Piece de Resistance, Shadow's Claw. This card is absolutely cracked, and here's why. So, card's awesome, because as long as you have 4 more preparation counters on your champion, you may activate this card from your material deck. Okay? Cool. You hit Tristan 3, get your 2 shadows, get this. It's amazing. And then the Tristan bonus, Fantasia allies you control can attack using Shadow's Claw. When they do, put a durability counter on Shadow's Claw. So you attack, you hit, you would lose a prep counter, but you don't because they get one when you attack. So you hit them with Tristan, then you hit them with the Fantasia allies after because the shadows can only hit things that Tristan herself has hit. But yeah, that's the material deck for the mid-range list. Let's go ahead and look at the main deck now. All right, main deck time. We have 4 of our boy Sable Remnant. Class bonus, he gets +1 floating memory. Absolutely amazing. I think this card is disgusting. Sorry, the glare is horrendous. But yeah, Sable Remnant, great card. Lets you get damage in early. Then we have 4 Dungeon Guide. Everyone needs these. I'm so glad these are getting a reprint in Mortal Ambition. Such a great card. On enter, do the dance, level up. Everyone loves this card. You need to play at least 3. Then we have 3 Sadie Blood Harvester. Really, really good to help get rid of annoying allies. And then if they try to kill her or at the end of your opponent's turn, pay 2, bounce her back to hand, get a prep counter. Class bonus, on kill, you get agility 3 for the turn. I love this card. It's really good. Really, really good if you're willing to put in the little bit of priciness for it. I think she's at like, what, $40 right now? So, but if you can get at least 2, do it. 3 is the best number in my opinion. Then we have 3 Slice and Dice. Slice and Dice, like Kuzmich said before, absolutely fantastic. Prepare 3. If it was prepared, you may have the attacker declare an additional attack. If you do, create a copy of Slice and Dice and it gets +3. Card's dumb because you're like, cool, I'm going to hit you for 9. Like, okay, it's either a finisher or the card you play before your kill turn. Then we have into the spells or actions, we have Reprogram. With a lot of automatons running around right now, I feel like Reprogram is super duper good because it allows you to do some absolutely crazy things, especially if they're like, cool, I'm going to hit you with a Shimmer Cloak. No, Reprogram it dies because it gets 2 buff counters. Amazing card. Then just base floating memory. We love it. Then we have 3 Mastermind Scheme. We love this card. Efficiency for 6. Double the amount of prep counters you have on your champion. Then if there are 8 or more prep counters, you get agility 3. Okay, cool. I have 4. I'm going to go to 8. you have them for later to either burst or use them for your shadows to redirect attacks. This card's amazing. The efficiency makes it even better. Then we have 2 Incapacitate. And yeah, that's it for the normal. Let's go into the Wind. Wind, we are starting out with 3 Stifling Trap. It's really stupid. Cool, I'm going to deal 2 damage to a target ally and then negate all of its on-enter triggers from the ally. Okay, awesome. Because dungeon guides or anything that says on-enter do X thing, this is great when they try to Storm Slime you. You're just like, no, Stifling Trap, stop. Sylvie players cry when you play this on any of their slimes that have an on-enter. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Surveil the Winds. This card for Tristan is absolutely bonkers. Fast activation for a class bonus, but I like to play it during my main phases. Draw a card, get a prep counter for 2. Absolutely insane. Then we are going into the allies, or some of the allies. We have 4 Shimmer Cloak Assassins. It's a 2/2 ally for 3 with stealth. Everyone loves this card. I love this card. Some people are doing some really bonkers thing with it in Lorraine, but it's staying in Tristan, and we love it. Just stab your opponent in the face. And then we have 3 Fairy Whispers. Some people play 4. I think 3 is okay. I'm going to glimpse 3, reveal the top card. If it's a win card, put it in a hand for 1. Absolutely insane. Do it at the end of your opponent's turn, or do it in your main phase if you're digging for things. But yeah, cards are great. Then my spicy tech, 3 Arrow Trap. This has saved me numerous times. This won me a game against a buddy of mine at Regionals back like 2 months ago. He swung at me with a huge slime. I said, no, Arrow Trap, it dies, and then I won the next turn. Because prepare 1, return target attacking ally to its owner's hand, class bonus. If Arrow Trap was prepared, destroy that ally instead. Cool, I'm pay 2. Please die. Then we have the quintessential 4 Dream Fairies. Dream Fairy's awesome. I'm very happy it didn't get banned. It lets you just tell your opponents no with a lot of annoying allies that might mess with you later. Then we have 4 Windmill Engineers. Imbue it, draw a card into memory. Really, really good turn 1 or turn 2 play, or just to get you more card advantage later. Then the replacement for the Korhazi Outlook, Black Market Broker. I really didn't use I really didn't use Korhazi Outlook's activation ability. I just used it for the prep counter generation, but this is a good replacement because if you have 4 or 3 or more preparation counters, this has stealth for 2, 3 for 4. On enter, get a prep counter. Card's dumb. Not as absolutely cracked as Korhazi Outlook, but, you know, it had to be dealt with. I understand why Weaves banned it. Then we're going to go into the Umbra package. We only have, I believe, 3 different Umbra cards. Because, again, this is a mid-range list. You only really want to use your Umbra cards for panic buttons or when you're about to win. We have 3 Shadow Resonance. This has saved me a lot of times. People mess with me for playing this card. I really, really like it. Recover 2, then draw a card. Tristan bonus, if your champion has 4 more prep counters, get a Shadow. I don't understand why people don't like this card. It has saved my butt a lot of times. Then we have 3 Shadow Strikes. Shadow Strike is amazing. This is your main kill card. Pay 2 reserve, prepare X, X can't be 0. Shadow Strike gets plus X, and then if Shadow Strike was prepared for a class bonus, it is unblockable. I've killed a Sylvie multiple times behind a massive Lustrous Slime with this card. I absolutely think it's ridiculously stupid. I've also stabbed people for a max of like 24 at one point. I love this card. I one-shot a Merlin at one point. It's hilarious. Our last main deck card is 3 Penumbral Waltz. People also don't like this card very much, but I really enjoy it. As an additional cost to activate it, remove X prep counters. Prevent the next X plus 3 damage that would be dealt to your champion this turn. If X was 3 or more, summon 2 shadows. It helps get your shadows back if you get hit with a flame sweep. Please, for the love of God, play this card, Tristan players. This card is awesome. It saves you from board wipes. Please play it. Please. But yeah, that's that. Let's look at the sideboard just real quick before we get into a little bit of deck discussion. Get all that out of the way. 1 Viridian Trinket. Water is huge right now. Let's make sure we are keeping water in check. 1 Tithe Proclamation. On enter, draw a card. This stops Rye and a lot of other cards, or a lot of other decks that like to draw, especially Merlin. Like I said, Merlin ruins everything. But yeah. Then main deck cards that we put in the sideboard. 2 more Incapacitates. Ensnaring Fumes. This card saves lives, especially against John's Domain deck, where he just makes a bunch of dudes and then beats you in the face. You can remove 3 prep counters instead of paying its reserve cost. Return all allies to their owner's hands. Yeah, it webs your board too, but if it's saving you from taking a bunch of damage from automaton tokens, you play this card. It saves your butt more times than not. Then we have 2 Veiling Breeze. Very good protection card. I love it. It's like, cool. I like to think of it as a reverse imbue, where you're like, cool, I'm going to reveal X win cards out of my memory, and then I take X less damage for the rest of the turn. It's like a better Resolute stand because there's really no downside to it. And then this is for the Merlin and Tenoris matchup. 3 Final Stroke. Prepare 3 4 cost for a 5 attack card. Class bonus on champion hit. If Final Stroke was prepared and there are 20 or more damage counters on the hit champion, destroy the hit champion. This card won me a lot of games against Merlin, or even Tenoris, where you're just like, cool, you're now at 21, die. Card's great, really helps in the Tenoris and Merlin matchup. I know I can swap it out for some other things, but I really like this, and it's saved me a lot of time in the past. So, yeah, that's my list. Let's hear from both myself and Kuzmich, and we are going to kind of talk about what our decks do differently.
All right, so those are the 2 deck lists. So what do you think plays differently between us?
For one thing, my deck is more based on trying to at least get damage in as fast as possible, and then make sure I just get rid of you before you try and get anything.
Yeah, you really just want to stab your opponent in the chest as fast as possible.
I don't want to deal anything.
Yeah. Me, on the other hand, I like to kind of control the board a little bit and punch them here and there with some of my allies, knock their allies down with my Sadies, get my prep counters, hit level 3, sometimes on my level 2 turn with the dungeon guide, and then go, cool, I'm going to hit you a bunch of times. Your next turn, I spend some prep counters to not die, then on my next turn, I will Shadow Strike you for game. What's another thing that we do differently?
Recently, I just took out Innervate Agility as a card I can try and put in and use here and there, just because its ability to sit down and D-level, recov 5, and then gain Stealth or Spell Shroud for a lot of matchups just absolutely ruins people.
Yeah, especially if you're going against a Rye or something.
Yeah, because you just and you can do it in response to anything.
Yeah.
Only downside is you need to have at least 5 damage for it to work.
Because by that time, Rye's comboed off.
Yeah.
If he like tries to hit you with the first.
Yeah, he'll get the first one off maybe if you've taken like 0 damage.
No, you just do it in response.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, I take the 13. They're like, cool. There's a second one there. Agility. No.
Yeah. No. Stop.
Yeah.
Go away. And then for me, I noticed you don't run a level 3.
No.
You just say, cool.
No.
Balls to the wall.
No, because really the only good Umbra card for Tristan level 3 is Shadow Strike. And
Hey.
there's 4 in the deck. At a certain point, it's really good, but then you have to build around it 1, and then 2 on top of that.
Penumbra Waltz is good, and so is Shadow Resonance. I love Shadow Resonance, okay?
Awful card.
No,
I don't want to
no.
sit down in the late game and pay 2 to recov 2 and draw a card.
And get 2 more shadows. Or get a shadow. Like, cool.
Cool. That doesn't really do much if you don't have anything to swing with. And then they just sit there and do nothing, and it's the same effect as if you had one shadow out. Or the two you get from going up.
But there's also the fact that if you
Because
play multiples of them, it's just almost like an innovative, like recover 4, recover 6.
Yeah.
Um,
But if you're going up to Umbral, I'd rather just kill my opponent outright instead of dirtle around and do nothing.
yeah. Now, what's
And then
the
just chip
earliest turn you've killed somebody? Wasn't it like turn 2 or turn 3 at regionals?
3, yeah.
Yeah, that was round. Tell us about that. Like, that was round 4?
Something like that, because it's just Spirit of Wind, and then accept the contract, have 3 prep counters, and then I went up to Tristan underhanded, got the agility.
Oh, you got another prep counter.
Yeah, I got the prep counter off it, so then I had 4.
'Cause you were right next to me in that round.
I got the 4, played like a Sable Remnant, hit my opponent for 2, they didn't do much, then on turn 3, I went
Assassin's Ripper?
Ripper, activate it, slice and dice, kill.
Please die.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, that also happened at Ascent Chicago, I think, too, where there was somebody. It was like the final round. Dude basically did the same thing. It was insane. People went crazy. It was the fastest final round that I've ever seen.
The only other thing to put in here that could be put in is Sharpen Blades for 2, because then you get your Ripper out. You can pay 1 prep counter into it, make it a 3-2 weapon, and then you Sharpen Blade to make it a 5-2 weapon.
Then hit them even harder.
Yep, and then you hit someone for 19, so even if they leveled up again, you still kill most characters other than Lorraine.
Yeah.
With no allies on board.
Yeah, Lorraine or like Lorraine level 2, yeah. Lorraine level 1, you just like smash.
Yeah.
What was the craziest round you had at regionals?
Craziest round at regionals.
Because some people like looked at you really confused when they saw what you were playing.
Mostly the Merlin list. Like, I never played against a Nico. The hardest match had to be versus Fire Xander.
Yeah, I played against like 2 Nikos, and I hated my life.
The Fire Xander match was really hard because it was like he won it or I won it. There was it was very close all the way through.
Yeah, you were playing against Crown. I remember that. Those of you who don't know, Crown is a good friend of ours. It runs Luxera's map where you can see a lot of tournament results and stuff like that. We were playing against him at regionals. I played against him, and so did you. He's a really good player.
But then we had that Merlin. Then I played against the 2 Merlin lists that were there. That first one, he got 3rd.
Yeah,
that was awful.
It was Prismatic Merlin.
Yeah, that was a hard one to beat.
That was awful.
That was close up until he just.
Yeah, and then you built that deck, and I hate my life. Which
it's great.
Future deck tech. By the way, you're probably going to see that at some point. We've got some other stuff in the works as well, especially with Mortal Ambition coming up. But your Merlin list is also kind of crack.
It's the same list. I might try and do a mix between the new Gentle Merlin list that came out and this one, but it's like figuring out what to take out and everything.
Yeah, it's like
because that one
crazy.
is just just board hate the entire time, and the other one is I'm gonna play Gentle Respite. I'm gonna play Geldis.
Please die.
Yeah, and then like deal with my 5/8 now.
Deal with it. Smash. But yeah, overall, I think our lists are very different, but also have a very similar skeleton. I like to kill later in the game, usually around turn 5 or 6. You're just like, cool, I'm going to do a line of cocaine and kill you on turn 3.
Yep, that's usually what the game plan is half the time.
But
best opener is literally just slice and dice, accept the contract, and
anything else.
Any 2-drop.
Yeah.
Any ally.
You were playing around with Critical for a while, I know that.
Yeah.
Because Critical is slept on. That is one of the things that we have come to conclusion about.
Critical is awful to play against.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's like, discard a card or I double my damage. Like, hello? That's insane.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I discard a card or lose your ally.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of things that you guys can do with this. Also, by the way, we do have a Discord now. So, I'll put the link to the Discord in our video description, and you guys can join. We will be always in there. Usually we're posting really dumb memes, but
Or random decks.
or random deck lists that he makes or I make or John makes. But yeah, glad you guys watched this video. I'm glad you're here. Let us know what you guys think of both of our lists, and we will see you next time.
Yep.
Archive Tactics out.